They were both like, girl, are you crazy? This guy was gonna do this, gonna do that. Like, what's wrong with you? And the name he'd given to me and the person and where he worked and what he did, on Google it was coinciding. There have been a few instances where like 1 or 2 people have been caught, or people have gone missing and they found them and realized that that was the story. Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to do something a little bit different that I've never done before, and it's just a little story time. So I'm just gonna tell a story about the time I kind of nearly got kidnapped / potentially sold into a human trafficking ring, which is what my theory anyway. I haven't told lots of people this story because I'm actually like really embarrassed by it, because it's just like, how did I almost fall for that? But anyway, so it was the summer of 2016, and if any of you have experienced a London summer when it's hot, it just gets you in a different mood. Like, you're happy, you go out more, like there's stuff to do, you know, Pimm's o'clock, like it's just a really nice time. So I believe this was about May or June or something of 2016. I had just finished my last degree, and I was sort of in that limbo where I was like, I'm supposed to be going back for law school, but I still want to stay in London. What should I do? I need to find a job here if I'm going to stay, etc, 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 right? So I'm walking down the road this one day around my house, which is in like around the Kensington area in London, and I'm walking to go meet my boyfriend because we're supposed to be going for lunch or something that day. I don't remember what we were supposed to be doing. And so there was this, I believe it was a lady and her little daughter, and somehow we ended up in conversation. I think her daughter's scooter had like hit my foot or something, and she'd apologized, and it was this mixed race girl, and we were talking about her hair because I had my hair out at the time or whatever. And I can't tell you how this other guy entered the conversation. Like, for the life of me, I have no idea. But before I knew it, I was no longer talking to this lady and her child, and it was just me and this guy speaking. I'm quite a perceptive person usually, so I eyed the guy up and down. I was looking like, what kind of person is this? Because the way that he joined the conversation, we were all talking about the same thing. This little girl and how long her hair was, and like she was just pretty, and she was trying to learn about the scooter. Like, it was just casual, walking down the street in London chat. It was nothing untoward. So anyway, it just ends up being me and this guy talking, and I guess the beginning of the conversation that I can remember is when he was like, I think he asked me what I did, and I said law, and the rest is history from there. Next thing I know, he was like, oh my god, no way, I'm a lawyer also, I do this kind of law, I work here, I've worked on this, I can do this, I can do that, I can do that. And me, again, I'm not a fool, so he told me his name, where he worked, and as he was talking to me, so I was walking, I don't know, for maybe, the walk was maybe a 20-minute walk, 15-minute walk to where I was going, 10 minutes actually, let me not exaggerate, 10-minute walk to where I was going. But on the sly, I had picked up my phone, I'd googled his name, seen who he was, where he worked, like, and the name he'd given to me and the person and where he worked and what he did, on Google it was coinciding. Like, it wasn't coming up as blank. Like, this was someone who wasn't like a golden circle lawyer, but someone who, he had done things, so he was working hard and he was working his way up, and if I was gonna put him in top anything, maybe I'll say top 40, top 50, so he seemed like he was pretty solid. Anyway, so this guy keeps talking to me about law, and we actually just get into a very banterous conversation. Like, he knew a lot about law, his terminology. He was asking me like legal questions, like, what do I think about this? What do I know about this? Did I study this at school? Like, did my modules cover this topic, that topic? Telling me stuff about cases he'd worked on. Like, he would forget a fact and he would call his colleague, and his colleague would like correct him on like the dates or this type of proceeding that they did or something, and he'd like, oh, thanks. Like, it was so well organized. Like, this guy was so believable. He had business cards. Like, he was legit. He seemed legit anyway. And I remember we were walking in the direction that I was going, and he had said, and I was thinking, okay, this guy's walking in my direction. If he really is able to help me and he's a lawyer, like, it's not affecting me. Like, he's walking the way I'm walking. I was talking to someone on the street. Like, it's not like he's gonna snatch me on Earls Court Road and just put me in a car. Like it's broad daylight, so I felt relatively safe. You know, someone was expecting me, which was my boyfriend, and I had just left my mom at home, so I wasn't by myself, and I just felt safe. Anyway, so we walked past, I believe it was Sainsbury's, and he goes, oh, he wants to buy a bottle of water, he's really hot and thirsty. And I was like, yeah, sure, like, cool. I was like, oh, I'm gonna go. He was like, no. He was like, okay, let me give you my card and just give me your email address. He didn't ask for my number, he was like, just give me your email address. And at this point, because I'd been talking to him for so long, I don't know if it was some kind of hypnosis or mental manipulation, but I literally stood there and I was like, yeah, sure. And he went into the store for like, I'm not kidding, it was maybe 120 seconds. Like, he picked up water, paid for it. Like, I was standing by the thing, and then I think he said to me, oh, do you have 5p or something? And I actually had 5p. I handed him the 5p because the bottle of water was like 80p or something. Like, it wasn't anything serious, and I kept on walking on my way. So eventually, after about 10 minutes time, I realized that, I was, you know, going where I was going, and I had realized the conversation was going on a little bit too long. So I was like, well, if this is gonna actualize into anything, I have your details, you have my details, like, there's no need for this to continue. And he goes on about how at his office where he works, they're having a work mixer this evening, and that he would love to introduce me to his colleagues who do law. Now, this is where my alarm bells start going ding 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 ding. Invite me to where, to do what, to see who? Like, you've just met me, like, you have no idea if I flunked school, like, you have no idea what my grades are like he just seemed all too friendly. And I guess I was only into the conversation because it was summer. Like, he hadn't approached me on like a weird hype, like, and I'm not kidding, this guy was checking out at every turn. So he was like, yeah, you know what, just the work mixer's at 7:30, I'll pick you up here, like at the corner. He was like, I live around the area, you live around the area, I'll pick you up here and we'll go. And I was like, no, that's fine, like, you can just send me the address, and if I can make it, like, I'll get there on my own. He was like, no, I'll pick you up. And I think this went back and forth like twice, and I was just thinking, why is this guy so insistent on me going with him and getting in his car, and at least not even sending me the address of where I'm going to be going? Like, I'm not going to get in someone's car and not know where we're going or where we're heading, right? So I was like, okay, cool. At this point, I think my phone had died, and I don't remember the facts of this. But obviously, my boyfriend had walked to my house and was like, oh, I'm expecting Timola, like, I'm calling her phone, and we're supposed to be going to see a movie or going to lunch or something. And my mom was like, she left like half an hour ago. So I guess I was walking really, really slowly, and I was just into this conversation. And then, so eventually I was like, yeah, okay, I have to go. And I had his contact, like his card or whatever. And as soon as I left, like, it was almost like something broke. Like, I could all of a sudden, like, sort of think clearly. Like, I was still a bit like in doubt, like, is this guy like trying to help me, is he not? But I was starting to like feel a lot more. It was a really, really, really strange sensation. Anyway, so after I spoke to my mom and my boyfriend, they were both like, girl, are you crazy? This guy was gonna do this, gonna do that, like, what's wrong with you? And so when it was around that time, like, he was calling my phone, being like, are you ready? Like, let me come and pick you up. And obviously at this point I was in my pajamas. I was definitely when I was not going to go meet this lawyer. Guys, please don't judge me. Like, it's just really weird because I feel like this is how the devil works. Like, my prayer point at that time was, God, please direct me in my job and my career. Like, tell me what I'm supposed to be doing. Am I supposed to be going to Nigeria? Am I supposed to be staying? Like, what is my life direction? So, you know, when you're like desperate in that kind of moment and something comes, like, you sort of start to second guess something. Is it a sign? Like, is this just serendipitous? Is serendipitous? Is that how you say it? It's just my destiny. Like, has this fallen in my lap? Is this God just like giving? So I think that's why my mind was willing to sort of explore what was happening. So a few days later, I went to the police station because when something happens, you know, when they say if you see something off, report it. Like, even if it doesn't do anything, like, for the next case, it can help them like put pieces together. And I love crime stories, and you guys don't even understand, little bits of information can help cases all around the country. So I just went in and I told, and the policeman was like, look, these people, it's actually a human trafficking ring, and they have like certain things they know a lot about on tap. Like music, acting, business management, law, medicine, right? Things that people do. So sometimes they want people who are like really academic and like smart, and they like use those people in certain types of human trafficking for certain types of clients. And you know, they want people who are like gullible, who, you know, you sell me a dream. You know, when you're like a striving artist, like you really want someone to give you a break, and if someone says, oh, I'm a producer, I know this guy, I know that guy, like you're gonna be like, yo, like that's just how those industries work. So the guy was like, it's as easy as him just texting one of his guys with law or medicine or something, and anything he calls to confirm, those people are going to back up that story because they know what's going on. And there have been a few instances where like 1 or 2 people have been caught, or people have gone missing and they found them and realized that that was the story. And so they were like, oh, we appreciate you like coming in. They asked me to describe the guy. They took the phone number that I had, the business card that I had, and a description of the guy. And you know, I really left that place thinking my story could have been so different. Like imagine if I really was like a desperate person, like shit, I don't have a job, I'm broke, like I really need help, like this guy is willing to help me. Or if I was just gullible and I wasn't raised the way that I was raised. Like it was just a really scary experience, and it's something that I always think back to, and I thank God, and I'm like, wow, thank you God that I was able to see that situation for what it was, and nobody was able to take advantage of me. Because can you imagine, I wouldn't be here, I would just be a missing person, and my friends and family would be like, you know, last seen on this day walking on this road, and it would just be, that would be it. So anyway, I wanted to share because obviously these people are still out there, and it could happen anywhere and everywhere in the world. And you know, just be alert. Like don't let anyone pull the wool over your eyes, and don't let anyone like take advantage of your vulnerability, and don't wear your heart on your sleeve all the time, and don't be so trusting, because that was my mistake. And trust me, once bitten, twice freaking shy. But yeah, that's just my story. I just wanted to share. I find it so funny now, obviously in hindsight. At the time it was not funny at all. Like it was really like nerve-wracking, and I was just really embarrassed. Like I felt really swindled, even though like nothing happened. I already felt swindled, because there was a point where I genuinely believed this guy. Like everything he was saying checked out. And when I went home and I could properly use my laptop to Google, it was when like pictures were coming up of this guy, and that wasn't the same person I'd seen, but it was also like an Indian guy. Like so it wasn't as easy to like break it down and be like, yeah, that's a lie. Like I don't know how these people get away with this. I don't know how they do it, but they're so freaking good at this stuff. Like they will talk to you like they've been in that field for years. Like, yes, I can help you, you know, I can do this for you. You know, we're actually just hiring at the moment. We're looking for young people. It's just crazy. So yeah, be careful out here, because these streets are wild. But see you guys in my next video, and I hope this was informative / funny / please don't judge me. Bye.
Remember that last time in Mexico? Remember that last time the episode? Asking me why the hell I text the code 4 times just to say don't text me home. Told you 4 times don't text me.